So as you guys can see on the screen, we have our table of contents of everything we'll be treating today. Yeah, and this is just what we'll be talking about today. There are lots of other things to talk about, okay? After this section, if you guys want me to make this, regular every week, and, we can always work that out to see how we can make, this meeting a regular thing, okay? To help us arrive at planning a wonderful wedding, okay? And also, if you are joining in from a different continent, please let us know, okay? We want to know other people that are joining us from outside Africa, and we would like to know if, how we can help, if our wedding styles are same, what is different, similarities and stuff, so we can all connect, okay? I want every one of us to connect here today, all right? Once again, thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in. I really appreciate this. Thank you so much. God bless you. Okay, so I believe we've had enough of this. Okay, we have more people joining in. If you're just joining in, welcome. We've been talking about, a couple of things like welcome, yeah. And we also said if you're here, it means you're having your wedding this year very soon, or you're planning a friend's wedding. And so that is why you're here. Whichever case it is, you're welcome. You are welcome. And we also have some married women here. Thank you for joining in. If you're married and you're here, please do not regret what your wedding looks like, okay? Do not regret how your wedding went, okay? The last thing you want to do is live in regrets of how your wedding went. Even if it didn't go your way, please, we do not want anyone having regrets on how their wedding went. So if you're married and you're joining us, welcome. Thank you. Congratulations. Okay. All right. More people joining in. You're welcome. Like we said earlier, if you're joining in from a different continent, please let us know so we can all connect together. Let us know. God bless you. Let us know. Okay. All right, guys. So we are jumping right into the business of the day fully. As I can see, you guys have had enough of this on your screen, all right? So let us proceed. Let us proceed. You will be to see a counselor, all right? I cannot stress how very important this is. Please see a counselor. Now, the benefits of seeing a counselor is that during wedding planning, things can get hectic and so bad that you can get so stressed that you do not feel like getting married anymore. Okay? I am saying this as a wedding planner and also from experience. Yes, I have been married for 2 years now. I got married in 2020, and I planned my wedding with a wedding planner. Partially, I would say, yes, I planned with a wedding planner partially, but because, I thought I wanted, so much, I decided to do a lot of things by myself. You see, I was planning my wedding in a different location, and my wedding was going to be in a completely different location. I am based in Cotonou at the moment. Cotonou is in Benin Republic. It is just a border share with Nigeria. So I was planning my wedding in Nigeria, in Benin City, and I was in Cotonou planning my wedding, So it got me stressed out. I had to sit down and say, do I really want to even get married? Because of the way I was so stressed emotionally, mentally, and all that stuff. So that's how bad it can get. If you have a marriage counselor, you can counsel about marriage, and also counsel about how to go about dealing with the stress in wedding planning and all that stuff. It will help keep you in check, okay? Because of everything that weddings are stressful. I will not be one of those people to tell you not, that it is not. Weddings are stressful, but how you deal with the stress is what makes it enjoyable, okay? It's what makes you love the fact that, oh, I was involved in my wedding planning process. Whether you're getting a wedding planner or not, you still have your, your part to play. You have some one or two things to do. And plus, if you're from Africa, our African families are always, they want to be in every process. They want to know what you're doing. They want to know how you're planning, because the wedding is not just for you, it's for everybody. And it happens once in a lifetime, that's what all hope, so they want to be involved. And the truth about it is, when everyone begins to get involved from both families and all, it becomes more of a stress for you as the bride. Okay, because everybody is telling you what they think should be done. Everybody wants you to do things their way. Everybody wants you to do things so it can, please their guests. All right. If you do not know, your wedding guest list comprises of wedding guests from your family, wedding guests from your husbands to be family, before your personal guests, your friends, your turn-up girls, your bridesmaid, and all that stuff. So the wedding is actually not for you alone, it's for your family. And everybody wants to have, this sense of belonging. They want to be joined in the process. They want to feel like, oh, we are part of this. All right. That is how weddings always are for the majority. Okay. So having a marriage counselor really helps you stay in check mentally, physically, and all that. You can always have someone that you can talk to when you're going through emotional stress, when you're going through any form of stress at all. That is why you need a marriage counselor. Okay. So that is my number one tip for you. Please get a marriage counselor. When you're planning your wedding, things can go sour sometimes, and you don't know how to deal with it because it's your first time. Okay. You don't know what to do. You need someone to keep you in check, hold you accountable for a lot of things, and just to keep on going. Okay. All right. So I have my team. If I look away, because I have my team members behind me telling me, oh, don't talk too much, move. Well, we have to do this so it can work. So I have someone keeping me in check, someone holding me accountable if I talk too much and stuff. All right. So you see, I also have a team. You need to get a marriage counselor. All right. So to the next thing that you need. Oh God, please do not let us slide. Yeah. So the next thing you need for your wedding planning, after you've just said I do, you've gotten yourself your marriage counselor, the next thing you need to do is create a mood board. Okay. A mood board is one of the most versatile vision board that you can have for your wedding, and make sure it is digital. All right. I forgot to bring my mood board for my wedding to this program. I completely forgot. My mood board was not a digital mood board. Okay. I cut out pieces of of what I wanted, and I glued them to a board. I totally forgot. I was going to do that, but I forgot. Now, a mood board is very important for you. All right. It helps you envision your wedding before it happens. All right. It's not enough to just envision them in your head. I mean, if you're envisioning your wedding in your head, if I'm your wedding planner, or if you're talking to a friend or anything, I do not know what you have in your head, So, but when you bring out a mood board, everyone is able to see what you want for your wedding. They're able to know your theme. They're able to know the colors you want. They're able to know the kind of environment, the venue, the kind of cake you want. Even you feel like, oh, this wedding has happened. All right. When you have a mood board, you just have this relief, oh, this wedding has happened. And when you're able to follow your mood board, you just feel like, oh, this is so easy. All right. So a mood board is going to keep you in check, make sure you do things well. And if you want to change something, you can quickly go re-edit, because it's a digital thing, so you can quickly re-edit and then put in pictures that you like, take out anything that you do not like. Okay, so mood boards are very, very important. Have a mood board for your wedding. It will guide you towards what you want for the wedding. It's going to give you a clear vision. Okay. All right. So we're diving into the next thing that we have. Now, let us get more intense about these things, all right? Budgets, your wedding budgets. This is like one of the most important things about wedding. Forget every other thing. The budget is one of the most scary, very complicated, but very, very important part of planning your wedding. Now, a lot of people run away from this because they cannot just, they can't face it, all right? They just feel like, oh, I just want this wedding to happen. I don't want to know how much it costs. I want this vendor, I want this makeup artist, I want this designer, and I don't want to know what the price is. Well, guess what? No, it cannot happen that way. Now, if you're wondering why a mood board comes before your budget, it is because if you're trying to solicit for funds, because usually your entire cash or your entire funds for your wedding will mainly come from three sources. Okay, source number one, your savings. When I mean your savings and that of your husband's to be savings. All right. The second source of where your funds will come from is, your personal funding. Maybe from your monthly salary, or if you're an entrepreneur, from your profits and all that stuff. You might just want to set aside that in addition to what you've been saving before. And another way your wedding budget will come from, or your wedding funds will come from, is from family and friends. So that's why a mood board comes before creating your budget, because if you're going to your father or your mother, your auntie and uncle to solicit for funds for your wedding, they need to be able to see what they're paying for. They want to know how much they can support you with. So when they see your mood board, they're like, oh, this is a high-end wedding, or this is a medium-end wedding, or this is a small wedding. Okay, so this is what we can contribute to the wedding. That is why it's important to have a mood board. So when you're setting your budget for your wedding, the funds will usually come from those three sources. I mean, most of the time, it will come from those three sources. All right. So you want to have a budget for your wedding that suits the kind of wedding you're planning. Okay. Now, I know we do not like to hear this a lot, because a lot of us want a dress of 2 million naira, a wedding dress of 2 million naira. But deep down inside, we know that a budget for that is not available. All right. And this is where wedding planning, some of the wedding planning mistakes start from. Okay. Your expectations versus your reality. All right. Now, I know how we can get, there's this slang these days that said the pressure is getting worse. Now, do not allow the pressure get worse on you. All right. Deliberate on your expectations and your reality. When you're setting your budget, make sure they are realistic. It's a realistic budget. All right. It's not, an illusion, because that's how a lot of people set their budget. Illusion, thinking that, oh, I am going to work in the next 6 months, and when I work, I'm going to make this amount of money, and then I'm going to add to my budget. That is an illusion. All right. That's not real, because a lot of times it doesn't happen that way. That is not real. So work, or rather create your budget according to the truth of what you have in your bank account from the three sources I just mentioned. Any other money that comes after that is for your future, for your future, for you to get a house, for you to buy a lot of utensils in the kitchen, for you to get a car, for you to go on even honeymoon, that dream honeymoon that you want. So set your budget according to the three sources I just told you about. Okay, so still on budget, like I said, set your budget on those three sources that I told you about. And when you're setting your budget, you want to be able to allocate your budget in these forms. Okay, I have done a detailed outline of how you can be able to allocate 100% of your funds of your entire wedding budget. That is what is on the screen right now. Okay, so this is like generally what 100% of your wedding budget will go into. All right, You have the cake, the gifts, your transport, logistics, stationery, and stuff. And so this is what a typical wedding budget allocation or budget breakdown looks like. By the way, I do have a dedicated article on this. So if I'm talking too fast or you cannot seem to keep up with my pace, let me know. But also, I have a dedicated article on this. It's on my website. I will leave all the links so you guys can see. You can read and really digest this breakdown and allocation and other stuffs. Okay, but I hope you can see this on the screen right now. This is basically how your 100% budget will the breakdown is going to look like. Now, I have a buffer of 15%. I'm going to explain what a buffer is. If your wedding is 20 million, for example, all right, you're trying to have 20 million for your wedding. You need to have 15% of 20 million outside your 20 million for contingencies, unforeseen contingencies. This buffer is not money for you to say, oh, since I wanted a dress for 200,000 and I was not able to get, now I have a buffer. I think I should just, I'll take some of the money for the wedding dress from the buffer. No, absolutely no. Now, a buffer, in fact, if you're working with your budget, assume that you do not have a buffer, but make sure, of course, the buffer is in your account. All right. So, for example, I was saying if your wedding is 20 million, for example, you need to have 15% of 20 million kept aside. And that is not from the 20 million. Okay, are we understanding this? This 15% is not from the 20 million, for example. Okay, it's completely outside the 20 million. And this needs to be kept security tight, okay, in the bank accounts. If possible, allow the groom to hold this money, because a lot of times if the bride have access to this money, that is the time they remember that the makeup artist they wanted to get for their wedding charges, like $100 and stuff. And now because there's a buffer, they're like, oh, I'm getting that makeup artist. I was going for the one who charges $60 before, but since I have a buffer now, I'm going for the one with $100. Okay, so I advise that this buffer be kept with the groom or a strict family member who can be very tight with money, because the essence of a buffer is to last you until even after your wedding. All right. A buffer will take care of unforeseen contingencies, like I said before, things that you never expected, increase in things that are outrageous, but they're happening, and you need to have your wedding at the end of the day, so you cannot afford to say, oh, because I can no longer afford it, then I'm skipping it. So a buffer will take care of all those things, when you go on that day, you might come and you might just find out that, oh, something is not here, something is missing, and we need logistics, we need an extra accommodation, we need an extra car to pick someone up, or we need some more cocktails, we need some more cakes, we need to order, so a buffer takes care of all those things. Okay, now if your buffer remains, if you have money from your buffer remaining after the wedding, awesome. Isn't that great? Having your wedding and you're proud to say, do you know that from my wedding I still have some cash left? That is great. You can invest that into going for your honeymoon or getting a car or something. So it's very helpful. Okay, so this is why getting a buffer is very, very important. It should be set aside. Make sure it is 15%, at least 15%. If you can have more of it, oh well, but make sure it is at least 15%. Okay, are we following? All right, now after you've set the budget, it's time to book the wedding dates, because now you're being realistic with yourself. You know how much you have to plan your wedding. You've already made a mood board. I mean, you're right on track. You are doing very, very well if you're following these steps. You have your marriage counselor, someone that is there to keep you on check in the wedding planning and every other thing. So it is time to book the wedding dates. Okay, it is time to this can happen in two ways. It can happen individually, with your families, or it can happen during your introduction. Okay, so I don't know. I think this is general for everyone, regardless of where you come from. Your families must have an introduction. Okay, they must meet to know, oh, okay, is this the lady we're marrying into our family, or is this the young man that is coming into our family? You know, there must be an introduction. You know, right? In our part of the world where we come from, they come and say they've seen a flower. So you come, you know, you are like, we've seen a flower and we want to pluck. You interested in being plucked, you know, and all that stuff. So it's time to book the wedding dates. And like I said, this can happen in two ways, either individually or, you know, family can decide that together. Now, after booking your wedding dates, you are excited. What do you want to do? Get a wedding planner before you book, or rather before you have your cards printed. Okay, why did I say, or why am I saying this now? Be honest with yourself, and I want to be honest with you as well. Wedding planning, like I said initially when we started this meeting, is stressful. Okay, if you're a working class lady, or you know you're a business person, you do not want to leave your business because you're planning a wedding. All right, no, you do not want to do that at all. And the last thing you want to do is to be uncomfortable or, you know, enraged about the way things are going. And please do not give your wedding planning to your sisters or to your aunties and to your uncles. I will tell you why. It is good if you're trying to save money. Okay, if you do not have money for a wedding planner, it's good to, you know, tell your sister or your uncle or your auntie that is a decorator or a caterer or stuff to do it. That is if you are working on a budget and you know you do not have funds for it. But if you have funds for it, please get a wedding planner. This is the reason why you should get a wedding planner. Your auntie, your uncle, your mom-in-law, whosoever can plan your wedding. But be ready to accept the outcome of it. You know, a lot of times planning, if your family members are planning your wedding, you do not have a lot of access to be able to tell them what you want and what you do not want. All right, because you know they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll handle everything. Just go to work, we'll handle everything. And a lot of times, if you're not keeping track or you're not in check, things do not turn out well. To be honest with you, they do not turn out well at all. Another reason why you do not want your aunties and uncles, some of these people are not up to date with what is trending in the wedding industry now. Okay, they are just the typical people. They know how it works around their vicinity. They know how they've been doing it for 10 years, for 12 years. In fact, they know how they've been doing it since the days of our grandmothers. And that is exactly what they are going to give to you. All right. They're like, this is how it has always been done. Let us do it that way. But you and I know that the wedding industry is vast right now. It's so wild. A lot of trends are coming in. And, you know, if you just want one of those trends in your weddings, you do not want someone typical to plan your wedding. The third reason why you do not want, you know, family members and stuff, or why you need a wedding planner, is because a wedding planner can help take off a lot of the stress for you. While you're working in the office, your wedding planner can help you reach out to a lot of vendors that you like to work with, you know, get the possible price for you. I mean, do their due diligence on things that you should have for your wedding and things that you should not have for your wedding. Advise you on a lot of things that you're trying to put or what you have on your mood board that may work and may not work depending on the seasons. Okay, if you're not aware, we have different seasons of the year, and different seasons of the year always align to different kinds of weddings that you're trying to plan. Okay, so a wedding planner can help you with advice on whether you should do that or not. All right, so that's one of the reasons why you should have a wedding planner. I could go on and on why you should have a wedding planner. Yeah, but I think these are some of the major tips. Oh, another very, very important tip that I think you should have a wedding planner for is the fact that, you know, your wedding planner can also be your consultant. All right, so you can consult with your wedding planner on some things that you're trying to include in your wedding. Okay, your wedding planner can help you know, will this work or will this not work? Is this a trend that you need? Your wedding planner can also help you know, help you to cut costs and tell you, I do not think you should add this to your wedding because it's, it's just going to add more costs for you. So they can also be your wedding consultant and, help you with things like that. I hope you guys can still hear and see me. All right. Please let me know. Can you still hear me? Can you still see me? Right. Well, we are progressing and we're almost coming to an end with this. Oh, I skipped one. Okay. Now, I will just go back to my book and see. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, why weddings are so expensive and how you can cut down by 30%. Now, this is I know how you guys are like, I'm here for this. I just want to cut down costs for my wedding while still having a very cool wedding, an amazing wedding, or my dream wedding. All right. So, why are weddings so expensive in the first place? And when I say weddings, why are African weddings so expensive in the first place? Because, in other parts of the world, you choose literally how you want to do your wedding and how much you just want to invest in it. And, how much you invest in it is like, I'm investing for my wedding. In Africa here, we are investing for our traditional wedding. We're investing for our white wedding. We're investing in for our court wedding. We're investing in for our wedding reception. We're investing in for our after party. The list goes on. Now, let us know in the first place why these weddings are so expensive in our part of the world. Number one reason why it's expensive is culture. Okay, we are people of culture. We have our own culture. The white wedding, the court wedding, and every other thing are things that came along as a result of what's the word again? It came in as a result of trends. It came in as a result of colonization and all that stuff. Typically, we have only one wedding, which is a traditional wedding. And what is a traditional wedding? It is a wedding where the both families accept each other as one and accept their children as one. Okay, so in the olden days, when our parents did that, that was all they did. But now it is totally and completely different. Times have changed, trends have come and go, so we have culture as one of the reasons weddings are expensive. Another reason why weddings are expensive is because a lot goes into it. All right. A lot goes into weddings. A lot goes into planning. A lot goes into setting. A lot goes into implementing, bringing to life. A lot of things goes into wedding. I mean, I was watching, a celebrity's wedding, and only her florist cost $20,000. So just $20,000, and that's like, whoa, that's like outrageous. But yeah, why? A lot of things go into wedding. A lot of mindset, a lot of ideas goes into wedding. So these days, typically, what you're paying for is like fresh ideas, mind-blowing ideas. You want this and you want this. Everything that you want is an idea that someone brought in, and that is good, that is wow, that is excellent, that makes the wedding, very heavenly, very majestic and stuff. So a lot goes into weddings. Another reason why weddings are expensive is because you have a lot of people to cater for. All right. African weddings, you have the list of an African wedding, maybe if you're from a small family or you just want to keep things small, maybe 300 to 500 guests if you're, very tight on your invites. But a typical African wedding, that is not concerned about invites, not restricting people, ranges from about 700 to 1,000 people. Now, if you know a lot of people, you're already talking about 2,000 to 3,000 guests. If you're having a destination wedding, well, cool for you. You can be able to cut down on things. You can have 250, 200 people, because yeah, it's a destination where not everyone will go over to your destination. But then if you're having your wedding at home in Nigeria, in Africa, wherever, in Benin, in Cotonou, in Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, you know that your family must be there. All right. Your family that you do not know, the ones that the last time you saw was when you were a girl and all that. So they're all coming for that wedding. And hence they're all coming. Hence, you have lots of expenses. You have to think about food. You have to think about extra decor to be able to cater for them. So it doesn't look like, oh, some people are for the wedding and others are just by the side. Cocktails, gift favors, you have to hire a DJ that has enough equipment to surround your venue, so it doesn't look like, oh, the music are for some people and they are not for the other people. So guests make weddings expensive. If you're expecting 1,000 guests, it will be expensive because you have to cater for 1,000 people. All right. So another thing that makes a wedding expensive is the fact that it doesn't happen every day. Weddings don't happen every day, okay? Everyone hopes to have one wedding throughout their lifetime, all right? So that is what we all hope to have. Nobody plans to have another wedding, all right? So it doesn't happen every day, and hence everything is unique, different, all right? And lastly, the reasons why weddings are expensive is because of trends, okay? 10 years ago, we didn't have party robots and a lot of flowers and people doing like this and all that stuff for your after party and wedding. It was just the reception. The reception, you dance, off you go home. Now we have after party, we have reception, we have fruits bar, we have cocktail bar, we have food separately for the after party, food for the reception, gift favors, cocktail area, roof. All these are trends that we love. Yes, everybody wants, elegance, luxury in their wedding. Well, guess what? Luxury comes with money. All right? For luxury, you need to pay for luxury, okay? You need to pay. So trends make weddings expensive, all right? Like they say, the pressure is getting worse. So be careful when you allow the pressure get on your neck. Make sure when you're planning your wedding for the fact that you want to be happy, you want to just have fun on your day, as opposed to having your wedding for the blogs, okay? Be careful not to have a wedding that is dedicated to the blogs. Have a wedding that is for you, for your husband or your wife to be someone that you love. And then as a result of that, it can go to the blogs, all right? Now, lastly, we're going to be talking about, a way to cut down some of the costs, okay? We're going to be looking at some of the way that we can cut down some of the cost. While I'm talking about some of the ways we can cut down on the cost, on the screen, we have all our services and, social media platforms that you guys can follow us. Check out our blog posts on weddings and stuff. So please, while we talk about how to reduce the cost of your wedding by at least 30%, on your screen is everything you need to know about TME Lux Weddings, okay? Now, one of the ways you can cut down costs on your wedding is having a same venue wedding, all right? If your home is big enough, my dear, have your wedding reception at your home. Have your, say your vows at an area at your home. I could remember when I had my wedding, I booked same hotel. The same hotel provided the venue for where we had the vows and where we had the reception. So, and because we had our bridesmaid and some other families, lodge in the hotel, we were given lots of discounts. Yes, we had lots of discounts, which helped us save money, right? So my vow was just on one end of the hall, beautifully decorated. And immediately after that, everyone proceeded into the reception area, which is the same hall. All right. So that's one of the smartest ways to save money. Okay. Use same venue. All right. For your reception. If your home is good, use your home. All right. Use your house. From your room, well dressed, take your pictures, go to the vow area in the garden of your home. From the garden area, proceed to the outdoor reception set for you. You will save a lot of money by doing that. You won't need a lot of logistics to move around. You won't need to rent a lot of cars. People can stay at your home, so you won't need to pay a lot. We would like to know if they have, offer you catering services, cake services. They can help you with the food. They can help you with the small chops and all that stuff. It will help you save some money, okay? And do not try to be swayed, okay? Do not be too swayed. Oh, a trend just comes in today and it was not part of your plan for your wedding. You do not have the budget for it. Please do not buy into it. Okay, I know it's hard. It's really hard, but do not buy into it. Stick to what you have planned for your wedding. Okay, it will turn out great. All right, trust me, it will turn out wonderful still. Okay, because if you're trying to buy into another trend, that means you need to be adding to your budget. If you have the money for it, okay, that's fine. That's well enough. But make sure it is not from the buffer. Okay, make sure it's not from the buffer, because tomorrow's anything can happen. Tomorrow, your vendor for your makeup can say, "Oh, I'm sorry, our services are no more 200,000. It's now 500,000. These are the reasons why." And you really want to use this vendor. All right, for example, that's where money comes from the buffer. Say, "Oh, I really want to use this vendor," and she has a tangible reason. She has a tangible reason why I need to add to her payment just to get her to be in my glam team for my wedding. For example, when I had my wedding, when I was planning my wedding in 2020, I planned my wedding in 2020 April. Okay, it was just a few months to the wedding. I'd already paid a lot of my vendors. I was ready to just go in, have fun, enjoy my day. And the whole world went on lockdown. Like, before my very eyes, everyone was on lockdown. And because of that, I had to move my wedding to December. You see, from April, I had to move to December. Now, when I started, replanning in December, I paid a lot of 60% of my vendors requested for an addition in fees. Okay, you see, I was affected by the pandemic too, as well as them, but you see, they don't care. You just need to add to their money because they've lost a lot of jobs, they've lost a lot of things and all that stuff, and everybody was going really crazy at that time. So from my buffer, I had to add to make sure I get these vendors to come through for me. You see why a buffer is very, very important. It's like a lifesaver for you for your wedding. All right. So be careful when you try to, add trends. If they're going to eat you up, no, say no to it. All right. Be strong-minded and say no to it and be at peace. All right. So you can try same-day wedding. If it is possible to have your church wedding, your court wedding, your traditional wedding and reception same day, yes, by all means. And I think that's possible because if you go to the court and they approve a date for you, you can have your traditional wedding in the morning. Traditional wedding will just be brief between families, accepting you both as, as a family now. And then you can have you can say a vow. Saying a vow takes about 30 minutes to 1 hour. Nobody really does long vows these days. Say your vow, move to the court area where they pronounce you as man and wife, and move to your reception. That is like killing 4 birds with 1 stone. Okay, if you can handle the stress of the day, by all means, go ahead and have 4 weddings in a day. It will save you a lot of cost, a lot of cost, because now you're having 1 reception for everybody. You can even have an after party. Then you can go ahead and make it luxurious, have your glam team, because now you have enough money to pay those people. Okay, so you can have all of them in while you're maintaining your 1-day wedding, which is suiting and benefiting for you and your family. And last but not the least, on how to cut down on wedding costs, do not book your vendors late. Please do not book your vendors late. Okay, if you're booking a vendor 2 weeks to your wedding, it's going to cost extra. Why? Because that's express, as we call it in Nigeria or in Africa. It's express. They'll tell you, "Oh, I have to counsel on another bride just to serve you, so you have to pay me more." So you do not want that at all. Make sure you book your vendors very early. Book your vendors as early as possible and make sure you're on the same page. Keep up with them from time to time so they do not forget your wedding day or forget what they need to serve you. You guys, woo, that has been about 40 minutes of me talking and explaining things to you. Do you guys understand me? Do you like what the topics are all about? Are they going to be beneficial to you? On the screen, we still have our social media platforms and everything that we do. Please, I hope you guys are going to follow us. And yeah, for this class, I prepared especially a bonus for every one of you in attendance to say thank you for coming on, supporting us. Thank you. I have a bonus but I need to make sure that you're following us on all social media platforms, which you have on your screen. And you're going to send us an email soon for a service or whatever. But then that won't stop me from going to or showing you what I have in store for you for free. All right. So we have for you for free uh so I'm just going to uh go to the freebie that I have for you. While we are about to check on some goodies that we have for this class, you guys have any questions that you like to ask me concerning everything that I have said or your wedding planning process so far? What are the challenges you're going through? What would you like to know? Or what do you think that you probably want to do, but you're not sure? Yeah, okay, so we're taking in questions. We are taking in questions. Questions, are there any questions that you guys would like to ask? By the way, this is the free B that we have for you guys prepared. We have a free budget spreadsheet for you. We have free budget spreadsheet for you, a free posing guide, a free general wedding checklist that you guys can download all for free to aid you in your wedding planning process. So it's completely free to download. I would leave links for you guys in prominent platforms so you guys can have access to it. But if you're following us now on Instagram, once you head to the bio and click the link there, you have access to all the freebies, okay? So once you're on Instagram, go to the bio, you can have access to all the freebies by clicking on the link in the bio. Okay, so are there questions you guys would like to ask? Because we are, at the end of this meeting. Are there questions? Question, 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 question. Question, question, and also we would like to take some of your advices, on how we can do things better if this wasn't good enough for you. Still waiting on your questions, if there are any. Questions. Also, you guys should let us know if you want us to be doing.
Hello.
Yeah, okay, I can hear you. Joy, you're welcome.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Where are you calling from, or where are you joining us from?
From Lagos.
Oh, amazing.
Lagos.
Amazing. You're welcome.
Yeah.
What would you like to ask?
Oh. So, okay, I want to thank you very much for having this meeting or seminar with us. And there are so many things you have opened my eyes to.
Okay, that's
So I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
you.
Yeah, so you made mention of giving a slide to 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 know more about wedding planning. So I didn't hear that part very well. My network went off. You
Okay,
said that we should follow you on Instagram, something like that. So I didn't get that part.
okay.
And I also want you to please elaborate on how to use the mood board, how to plot things on the mood board.
All right, okay.
Okay, thank you.
That'd be all okay. Thank you too. So because of time, I won't be able to say say in depth, but I do have an article on my website that explains how you can create a mood board for your wedding and how to use it. If after reading that you are not satisfied, part of our services is to create a mood board for you. All right. We will just consult with you and we will know the kind of wedding you want and we will create a detailed mood board for you. As a matter of fact, we have our own mood boards on sale. All right. Either for your medium size, if you're having a small wedding, a medium sized wedding, or a large wedding, we have mood boards specifically dedicated to those to meet the needs of those kinds of weddings. We can also create custom mood boards for you, if that is not to your satisfaction, by knowing the kind of theme of wedding you want, and we will create mood boards that are dedicated to that kind of theme. Okay, so again, you can also check the website. It's completely free for a detailed article on how to create your own mood board and how to work with it. Okay, I don't know if that has answered your questions. Please let me know.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Joy. Do we have more questions coming in? Do we have more questions coming in? Do we have more questions? Mood boards are very like they're one of the most, I mean, you can say that after counsel, it is the next thing you should do. It brings out the vision of what you want for your wedding, the kind of wedding you want, and you will see firsthand this kind of wedding I'm going for. It looks like what I will spend so much on compared to this kind of mood board that I will spend less on, you know? So it gives you firsthand, you just have this connection with the kind of wedding you want, what you will be spending, and then you can edit out the things that you do not want or replace them with the things that are fair enough for you. Okay, so mood boards are very important for planning your wedding. Okay, we are about to finally round up this session. Do we have any more questions? And also, we would be having series of these meetings from time to time. This is something you guys are interested in. Do you like that? Okay. Do we have more questions? More questions. You guys do not forget to download the free bees that we have once you just go to our Instagram page, you can find the link in the bio. It's completely free. And then you can download everything we have there for free, or completely free. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Of course, we'll be having more of these sessions as we go on. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining in.
Thank you so much. Bye.
All right. You guys, bye. See you next week by God's grace. Thank you.